You too have begun to grow beard?
No, I just trying different look.
Good, yeah. I hope some right person tells you that it's good.
Thank you, sir. You tell me it is good, so I will take it as a took it as a compliment.
Yeah. Good. Sagar, as far as I am concerned, there is only one issue I want to discuss with you. And it is your confidence.
Yes.
And coming out confidently in the interview.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am always convinced you are very well prepared on content.
Yes, sir.
There is no doubt about your study. By the very fact that you are regularly clearing mains, is not a small thing.
Yes, sir.
In the interview, you need to present yourself confidently.
Yes.
Tell us what you have done to do that in the intervening year.
Sir, currently I am practicing more of the mocks, and also I am doing the group discussion. Firstly, for about 2-3 hours daily, I am doing the group discussion with my colleagues who are appearing for the interview. Secondly, I am also reading the newspaper loudly for about half hour, and their mirror practice for about half hour. And also in the morning I do the meditation so that I can work on the recalling purpose.
Good.
Yes.
Give us a brief idea of how the UPSC interview went off last year.
Sir, UPSC interview, from my perspective, there was a little bit lack of confidence, and the questions, one question I was not able to clearly articulate. So that question affected my rest of the interview. So,
whose panel was that?
Sir, it was Manoj Soni sir's panel.
Actually, a very soft-spoken person.
Yes, sir. He is a soft-spoken, but from my side, I think I was low on confidence, and that affected my marks as well.
Do you remember the particular question which you think affected rest of your interview?
Sir, it was the question about is India a nation? So I said from the perspective of the Western perspective, where the nation as a word depends upon a particular identity or language. From that perspective, India is not a nation, as India has a diverse culture. So I was not able to look from the diverse perspective, as India is a civilizational nation, and despite having diverse identity, culture, religion as well.
And the score was?
Sir, score was about 96 marks.
I can assure you, and we will discuss that why it happened.
Yes.
Let us spend 30 seconds on the same question.
Yes.
Is India a nation?
Sir, I believe that India is a civilizational nation, having the rich cultural history, and we have as well the diverse religion, culture, and the people from the different caste as well as the different religion live peacefully here. So I believe that India is a civilizational nation.
From your answer, it looked like you are basing the concept of nation state on Western political thought.
Yes, sir.
Do we find the concept of nation state in Indian thinking?
Yes, sir. Sri Aurobindo Ghosh has given the concept of the nation from the Indian perspective. India's perspective has always been looking the world from not from the narrow perspective of a particular religion, or our concept has always been the globalized or Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
Concept of nation before Westphalia in India?
Sorry, sir, right now I am not able to recall it.
Okay, doesn't matter. All the best. You have worked on yourself, I am happy to say.
Yes.
You are coming out with confidence. Let that go on.
Yes.
Also, absolutely no issue with fluency. Now all you have to do is be what you are.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, all the very best.
Thank you.
Madam will take over.
You're doing well.
Thank you.
So, what are your views on like cyber security and every time like all the projects in the government are now digitized and automation is going on. So how vulnerable is it, and what kind of skills we need to incorporate, and what kind of roadmap we need to see to keep our data secure?
Ma'am, as we are moving digital, according to reports like World Cyber Security Report, India is one of the 10th most vulnerable country to the various cyber security purposes. So I believe that the cyber security has to be a most important angle in every of the project we take. So for that purpose, the government has been doing the various work. We have one of the prominent institutions, CERT-in, which is the first institution for dealing with the cyber crime. Secondly, various IT acts are there through which we can deal with the cyber crimes, as well as recently the government has come up with the social media IT rules for dealing with the crimes on social media. But there are more challenges which needs to be looked into, like the cyber security is the emerging domain and it continuously changes. So for that purposes, we need to completely update ourselves. There has to be more research and development, and recruiting the private sector for dealing with the cyber security can one of the option.
Okay. What do you think about the Heidenberg report that has come, and how it will affect capitalism in India?
Sir, ma'am, sir, the Hindenburg report recently has come up, which has specifically talks about the stock or shares manipulation and fraudulent transaction. But these are the preliminary investigation, and our independent agencies like SEBI, RBI are very well versed with dealing with all these issues. And I believe that our economy is more resilient to deal with any of the shocks that will be coming to the Indian economy.
Why is India called a subcontinent?
Sir, India is called as a subcontinent because of the location of the India, and it is located in the Indian Ocean. At the same time, India has a diverse culture, and geographically it is very much diverse. So because of that, India is called a subcontinent.
Which all countries you feel constitute the Indian subcontinent?
Sir, all the neighboring countries, including Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, are part of Indian subcontinent.
What are your views on India's territorial dispute with China?
Sir, territorial disputes with the China has been the historical issue which has been long standing, and recently with the Galwan clash.
When you say historical, how back are you taking it?
Sir, I am not aware of the exact date, but it is a pre-independence issue as well, because of there are certain issues regarding the McMahon line and the line of actual control. So, and after independence also, the issue has been strengthening after the 1962 war. So there has been the continuous incursion from the Chinese side, and they are using their nibbling strategy for threatening the India. So I believe that we have to strengthen our border infrastructure.
And what is the way forward you look?
Firstly, we have to give the befitting reply to the Chinese side to ensure our territorial integrity and sovereignty. We have to invest in border infrastructure, strengthening the border infrastructure. At the same time, a vibrant village program through government has taken to work on the strengthening the population strengthening the population or the village population in the border areas. And from the economic front, we have to reduce the dependency on the Chinese. And fourthly, we have to work with the countries, like-minded countries like USA, which are also being see the China as a major threat. So we have to we can work on these multiple.
How do you see Musharraf's legacy?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware of Musharraf's legacy, but I have to read more upon that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Morning, Sagar. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay. Since your subject is international relations and so on, continuing from what you were just discussing, One China policy. What is One China policy?
So One China policy means we are considering the Chinese as one, including the part of Taiwan. And Taiwan and other parts. Sorry, sir, I am not able to recall it right now.
Tibet,
Yes, sir, Tibet as well.
Xinjiang, Manchuria. Take a look at what all is around China. But does China reciprocate by recognizing a One India policy?
Sir, China has been the part of the Xinjiang province or the certain parts of our Jammu and Kashmir has been under the occupation of the Chinese. So China actually not recognize this part as the Indian part.
Not just what they claim. Do they recognize Kashmir is totally ours?
So there is the ambiguity on this issue, and they have not completely talked
So
about
while
it.
we are kind enough to them, they couldn't be bothered. What do you make of the balloon spying?
Sorry, sir, I'm not
Not
able to
aware?
get.
Not reading news?
Yes, sir.
A
You are talking
balloon
about
was spotted over South America or the United States and now even over Canada, and the balloon has been shot down. It's being used for spying. So you have no idea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So recently, the balloon spying incident happened in the USA. So the USA has shot down that balloon because it was used to be spying purposes. But China has reciprocated. China has said that it was for the civilian purposes, and it was used for collecting the meteorological data. But I believe that the China side can't be trusted, because the China has been using the spying activity for so long. Even in the Indian context, there was spying the issue on the Andaman and Nicobar Island. At the same time, Huawei as a company was used by the Chinese for collecting the data.
Huawei is a different thing altogether. Meteorological data. Can meteorological data be used as a weapon? Can the data be weaponized?
Yes, sir. Meteorological or the climatological data can be weaponized as well. For example, we are knowing what kind of climate or the rainfall pattern in that particular region. So we can like that during the disaster purposes, it can be like they can predict the disaster. At the same time, it can be used for predicting the future economic conditions of.
My question was weaponized. You have to use it as a weapon, and when you use it as a weapon, you have to demolish the enemy. Any idea?
Sorry, sir, I am not able to get.
Okay, doesn't matter. Chandrasekhar sir.
Thank you. Hello, Sagar.
Hello, sir.
When you were speaking to sir, you made a statement that we need to reduce our economic dependence on China.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that? What is the dependence we have and how do we reduce it?
Sir, we have the dependence on the China on the various front. First of all, the pharmaceutical front. About 70 to 80% of the active pharmaceutical ingredients come from the China. So it can be diversified for more research and development on the Indian side through opening of the more laboratories. Second front is about the equipments which are required for the electrical purposes, solar cells, which can be diversified from the countries like different South American countries, through which we can go for that. Thirdly, on the we are also dependent on the China's from the various raw materials.
Okay. What do you understand by the term blue economy? Your name is Sagar.
Yes. Sir, blue economy is a diverse term which is used for harnessing the potential of the water through water resources. For example, it can be used for development of the fisheries, for providing the employment, maritime security, at the same time conservation of the resources, for like coral reefs, and for development of the transportation, as the communication is the water communication is the cheapest way for transport.
Why is this term Nord Stream 2 in the news in the last few days?
Sir, it was in news. There was allegations like USA has bombed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
What is this Nord Stream 2 in any case?
Sir, it is a pipeline from the Russia to the Germany, which actually transport the gas to the European countries. So it is the second pipeline, and about 40% of the European energy need is met by this pipeline.
Right now, is it functional?
Sir, right now it is not functional because of the issues or Russia-Ukraine crisis.
You did a job at Accenture.
Yes.
What was the job?
Sir, I was working I was working in the back-end support team of the our project of the Volkswagen. So I was working as an incident manager, where various tickets or various issues from the client came. I have to look into that issue and forward it to a definite team.
As an IT engineer, what do you understand by data sovereignty?
So data sovereignty means the data which is generated within the country, within the country, and which is sovereign to that country. That data needs to be protected, and it should not be misused for any of the illegal activities.
What is sovereignty and what you said?
So sovereignty means the data within data which is collected within the borders of the country has to be sovereign. And
how do you achieve it?
Sir, recently with the growth of the internet, there has been the issue of the transport of the data across the border.
Okay, read on it.
Yes.
You're from Ahmednagar?
Yes, sir.
Who was Chand Bibi?
So Chand Bibi was a queen of the Ahmednagar or Nizam Shahi Sultanate. She has after the death of the capable leader, Chand Bibi has she actually fought the Mughals during her reign, and so right now I'm able to recall this.
Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Let's take a debate for some seconds. Do you or don't you think it is part of Indian subcontinent?
Sir, I believe that it is a part of the Indian subcontinent because of its cultural proximity with India.
Are there any geographical differences?
Sir, geographical differences, sir, I'm not able to recall it right now.
How is the issue of the next Dalai Lama important for India-China relationship?
Sir, I have to read on that.
You refer to API in your answer.
Yeah.
Does the current budget make any provisions with respect to API?
Sorry, sir, I have to read up on that.
And similarly, the issue of lithium came up across last 25 minutes. So are new lithium deposits found somewhere in India?
Sir, sorry, sir, I am not able to
Okay,
recall
no
it.
problem.
Yeah.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. of you.
I'm happy to start with the same point I started out the interview. And that is, you are definitely coming across as confident person.
Yes, thank you.
But the journey has to continue.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I will say to going to the even the extent that at times you want to say wrong thing. Even if you say it with confidence, that is going to bring you more marks.
Yes.
So confidence, but work to continue. Similarly, fluency.
Yes, sir.
That you have achieved fluency throughout like almost 30 minutes of the interview. Not for one moment did we think that you are lacking in fluency.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And at the same time, since we have 1 month on hand, let this work on fluency also continue.
Yes, sir.
Which means, Sagar, ample time.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be in Delhi during these 2 months?
Yes, sir. In Delhi only.
Have you sort of taken some course in spoken English?
Yes, sir. I have joined the online spoken English, like one-to-one session, communication for session, for about 1 month.
Is it helping you?
It is helping me to go for like on-the-spot answers. But I think I need to work more upon that.
But I will also tell you the core principle in developing command over any language, including English. The core principle is to train our brain to even think in that language.
Yes, sir.
Which means thoughts formation itself has to happen in that language, which will ensure the fluency in expression.
Yes, sir.
What happens, and I am sure you experience that, what happens is we still think in Marathi, then look for English parallel word for each word, then connect them and then speak.
Yes, sir.
In that process there is time lag, and what is more important than time lag is that every language has its own rhythm.
Yes.
And its own way of expressing. So if we form thoughts in Marathi, then translate and then speak in English, that rhythm is lost. That affects our fluency.
Yes, sir. That is the issue.
So 2 months is ample time to train the brain in thinking in English.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That also I can guarantee you, I will tell you the Ramban Upay. That is, from here onwards until your interview is over on 18th of April, do everything in English.
Yes.
Everything. All the time read English,
Yes, sir.
write English, speak English, listen to English, watch English,
Yes.
or even among your friends who want to talk, even informal talker, speak it in English. Actually, if you are able to express yourself freely in informal talk, that adds to your command over the language.
Yes, sir.
My description has been eat English, drink English, only non-alcoholic, speak English, sleep English,
Yes.
dream English, everything.
Yes, sir. I
2 months, there will be a vast change.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's good.
Looking at even the change you have brought about so far, there will be a vast change.
Yes, sir. Yes. I will work on this.
And then based on today's interview, then only area you need to continue to work on is current.
Yes.
All sorts of current.
Yes.
Today not many Maharashtra issues came up, but in the actual interview they will. So current issues of Maharashtra, current issues at national level, current issues at international level,
Yes.
some of our questions were designed to find it out. There some work is required.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So, your definition of Indian subcontinent,
yes, sir.
and I picked up from that to discuss Tibet, and the latest on Tibet, or Musharraf died like 2-3 days ago.
Yes, sir.
Will Musharraf be discussed on 18th of April? There is reason to think that no. In the 2 months, many new current issues will happen.
Yes, sir. That's
But
right.
sort of if we are discussing today, Musharraf's legacy, basically any UPSC aspirant, and more so the one with pol science as optional subject, will be expected to respond.
Yes, sir. So
It
because of that,
relates- huh?
I thought it will not be issue. So I have not read that news.
It is. It relates to Kargil issue.
Yes.
Then from interview technique point of view, 2 or 3 small but critical suggestions. Some answers need to be still more brief. They are slightly lengthy. And again, lengthy not only in terms of the time taken or sentences spoken, they are lengthy in the sense that they are not coming to the point in the very first sentence.
Yes.
You are taking 2-3 sentences to build the point, then you arrive at the point. That is a good methodology for main exam. For interview, it has to be the first sentence you speak
Yes.
should be the direct answer to the question asked. I am saying it is in that sense that the answers could be brief, more pointed, more precise. And then even in today's interview, I observed that after that question on Musharraf, your voice went down and remained there for rest of the interview.
Yes, sir.
That again under any circumstances not to be allowed to happen.
Yes, sir.
Initially when we started speaking, you were enthusiastic, voice carried energy.
Yes.
With Musharraf, the voice went down. So work on that.
Yes, sir.
Voice needs to reflect energy until the last word.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And as a part of that current also, the things that have been brought to your notice, data as weapon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sagar, today's answer did not tell us that you have understood the issue, data as weapon.
Yes, sir.
It's a very critical issue,
Yes, sir. Sir.
increasingly being used. And a bill is presented in our parliament. It's now being discussed,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
National Data Sovereignty Bill and Data Protection Bill.
Yes, sir.
This is now a very critical issue for even concept of sovereignty.
Yes, sir.
So the question did go on to data sovereignty,
Yes, sir.
indicating brushing up. Also, not that this question per se will come up, but the point it tells us is being update on current. That is API. This budget makes special provision for research on API so that we don't have to import APIs from China.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lithium deposits are discovered in Jammu Kashmir.
Yes, sir. I was little bit aware of that news, but I thought of like if I guess and if that goes wrong, it might impact. So I said that I'll.
Sagar, good that you are saying this because that gives me opportunity to repeat the point. Huh?
Yeah.
All you need is to be confident.
Yes.
That brings us to this point. So much so, I will repeat my sentence. Even if you say wrong things, but say them with confidence.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So like take this point. You knew,
Yes, sir.
but you thought if you say, you might be wrong.
Yes, sir.
So you chose not to give the answer.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Think of the process. But it ends up in the interview situation, it ends up by showing you not updating current events.
Yes.
Okay. Solution was for you to even smile and say, sir, I may not be sure, but I think they are found out in Jammu Kashmir.
Yes.
I think it is the news today.
Yeah.
You can say so. That is what I mean by confidence, and this smile now.
Yes, sir.
Actually, more you are confident, the smile will automatically come out.
Yes,
So
sir.
even during the interview, you should have given that answer.
Yes, sir. I will next time. From next
Yeah.
time, I will do.
Yeah. then to the best of our judgment, even this interview will take you to or slightly beyond 160 for
Yes, sir.
sure.
Yes, sir.
Which means by UPSC standards, even this interview is good. At
Yes.
160, good score begins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But 18th of April, so two very critical, decisive months in your life.
Yes, sir.
Brace yourself up.
Yes, sir.
Lastly, there is one last thing I do want to say. Sagar, I can almost assure you, I am doing this as mathematical deduction. Yeah? Your response to the question on is India a nation may be the single factor why it took your score so low.
Yes, sir. I got to know that. Like at that point, I was basically it was like they didn't directly ask is India a nation. First, they asked me the definition of nation, what is state, and then they asked me the definition is India a nation, because at the first instance as well, I said that nations is a Western concept which has given based on the particular religion or caste. So state is administrative based on territory or government and people. And then they asked me whether India is a nation. So based on that nation's definition, Western definition, I have said that India is not a nation. I was not ever, like at that time I was unable to recall that India is a civilized nation as also given by Sri Arvinda Ghosh.
Not only Arvinda, Sagar.
Yeah.
Vedas talk of oneness of India.
Yes.
Defining feature of nation is sense of oneness.
Yes, sir.
So with all our diversity, are we one people?
Yes, sir.
It is right since Vedas that we are one people.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And unfortunately, it is our brainwash caused by modern education system that we think the concept is Western.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And that we have adopted that. And it is these, in quotes, the leftist thinkers who continue with the line that India never was a nation. According to them, even today, India is not a nation. But that may have cost you this one.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That answer, coming out with conviction that India is a nation, and we believe it has been a nation,
Yes,
if
sir.
you believe. Again, no compulsion.
No, actually, I was at that time I was totally stuck and I was not able to think from the broader perspective. Like I was not intent to say that, but I was nervous at that time. It was the first question, and
But Sagar, I will express my shock. My word is my shock for you not to say with a conviction that India is nation. I mean, allow me to say today, I am shocked.
sir, I believe that like I am convinced that India is a nation.
Huh? Why be carried away by the Western concepts? Think of the very term Rashtra. Is it just a translation of an English word? Isn't the word Rashtra there in Vedas?
Yes, sir. It is mentioned in Vedas.
And whenever any religious ceremony is performed anywhere in India, it starts with Asmin Rashtre Samutpanne.
Yes, sir.
There is also a definition which is in terms of time slightly later one, but still 2nd century BC, which defines India as one people, one civilization with all its diversity.
Yes, sir.
It is from Vishnu Puran.
Yes, sir.
And think of even the word Bharat. What is the source of the word Bharat?
It is also mentioned in the ancient period, or it comes from the Bharata.
सागर मला अजूनही शॉक आता मी मराठीत बोलतोय खरं नकोय बोलायला पण जरा मला धक्कादायक वाटतंय भारत द वर्ड इज इन वेदास
Yes.
describing the whole Bharat as it exists even now and bigger one
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
including present Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, etc. including
Yes,
Kashmir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. During even the Afghanistan was a part of India during that. After
Yeah, sir, मला शॉकिंग म्हणजे की coming from you not expressing the conviction that India is a nation and we believe it has been a nation.
Yes, sir.
There may have been ups and downs, but being nation is at its roots.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तसं मला I wanted to share this, that why it came so low to 96 is unfortunately this lack of conviction in India being a nation.
Yes, sir. I was unable to properly express it.
इथं सागर महाराष्ट्र जगतो कशा करता आणि अख्खा शिवाजी महाराजांचा जो वारसा आहे तो काय आहे? इज इट नॉट अ नेशन?
Yes.
शिवाजी महाराजांनी महाराष्ट्राला सगळ्या देशासाठी लढायला नाही शिकवलं. ते
Yes, sir.
कशाला शिकवलं बाबा? नेशन जर नसतो तर सिंधू नदीच्या उगमापासून कावेरीच्या संगमापर्यंत हिंदवी स्वराज्य हे तो श्रींची इच्छा.
Yes, sir.
असं कशाला म्हणले असते शिवाजी महाराज? शॉकिंग सागर असं मी म्हणतोय की हे मॅन, महाराष्ट्रातला युवक not confidently and with a sense of conviction saying India is one nation. ते आहे. हा जो एवढा खाली गेला ना.
Yes, sir. I got trapped in like that series of questions they have asked me. That's why.
You can keep this in mind that you should not let the West define for.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I actually was aware of that, but at that moment, like, I didn't like struck.
That from interview point of view, then Sagar, the interview offers you chance to recover all the time.
Yes.
So in the sense, if during the course of interview it occurred to you,
Yes, sir.
you could have taken your own opportunity and say, sir, I want to correct my previous answer. I got it slightly wrong. But on the question of India being nation, I am convinced India is and has always been a nation.
Yes, sir. We can say it in between or after the interview. Like I was not aware of that.
I was not aware of that.
No, no. Like we can say like this. If I want to correct, when to say it? Like after.
Fine, look for a proper pause.
Yes.
There are no set rules for it.
Huh? One question is asked, you say something and then immediately a volunteer to say, sir, please allow me for a moment to go back to the previous question. I'm sorry, it occurred to me now, but I want to correct my answer.
Yes,
Do
sir.
so.
Yes.
In fact, that will also show officer-like quality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Done, Sagar.
Years
Yes, sir.
ago, somebody wrote Mahabharata. Why did he write Bharat?
Yeah.
Yes.
His own state is Maharashtra, not Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Done. So these are notes. Do stay in touch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Must study hard.
Yes.
All the very best.
Give all the time. Do well.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.